Hey guys, how you doing? This is Sean Woods of your City of Coaches podcast. I'm here at Williams-Field High School in Gilbert, Arizona, with my newly friend, Coach MCCoy.
Yes,
how
sir,
you doing,
yes,
Coach?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
It's good, man. It's really
sure.
good to meet you, man. You have a nice facility. I probably said it about 10
Yeah,
times
for
to you.
sure, for sure.
But, you know, because I coached in a small school, and it was
Right.
probably about as big as this gym.
No,
So you just finishing up your first year here
Yes, sir.
at
Yes, sir.
Williams-Field. How you feel overall? How you feel about the season?
well, going into the season, we were preseason ranked number 5 team in 5A. We were
Okay.
preseason ranked number 5. My point guard was like top 10 2021 class. I had a wing guard that's also ranked in the top 10 in his position in 2021 class. And I had a gentleman that was also ranked pretty high at the guard position, but he transferred from Mesa, so he couldn't play the first 9 games. Right. So with that being said, we didn't reach those expectations. However, we ended up making the playoffs. So we had a more of an up and down year, where we had this big hype, and then we didn't. We started off kind of slow, but we lost some big games by close buzzer beaters. To some top teams. So but we
Yeah,
ended up
I've
finishing strong.
I seen your schedule, and it seems like your team goes on runs. Like you'll get some W's in a row.
Exactly.
Of course, you might get some L's
Yeah.
too, but like you split. So I'm pretty sure that was something that you would
Yes,
move on
sir.
for next season.
Yes, sir.
And speak on that, the playoff system. Me, when I was a high school coach in Ohio, everybody got in.
Well, now I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You are from Milwaukee.
Everybody gets in the playoffs.
So everybody had a chance, like March Madness
Yes.
almost. But then here, you got to wake up to the fact that you don't want the February 2nd game be your
To
last
alter.
game of the season.
Yes.
So what are some of the mentalities your players, like, because you got hired, I would say like April sometime
Yes.
last year. So I'm sure because Arizona goes all year long,
Right.
that you got to get the rolling with your kids.
You got to get to rolling right away. Especially with here, we have like a basketball hour in the school. So you have to really, yes, it's called basketball weights. where
Oh, okay.
I can use that hour to, train them, make sure they're getting their bodies right in the weight room. So to be ahead of schedule, so you know what you have in your program. Because like you said, you talk about the playoffs, you just don't wake up and you make the playoffs have a shot. So those early PowerPoint games, they call them, if you drop them early, it hurts your stock.
Right. So do you, like, in your situation, because now you're about to be part of the scheduling. I don't know necessarily you was able to do it last year, but like some of like tournaments and stuff like that, like how do you feel about those? Because some of those be like 6 games in a row, like Thanksgiving week and such things like that. And some players want to go on vacation. Do you make sure you get some of the tough, but you still hold back a little bit to see, or whoever come gonna get it? Is that pretty much?
I'm gonna be honest with you, whoever comes can get it.
I like that.
Because
I like that.
if they're not prepared, then they won't. If it's a tough PowerPoint game, have to go way up the Cactus Shadows and they rank number 2. They're not prepared mentally. Like we lost that game by 4. You go and you play against a top 6A team. You wanna get the challenge. You want the kids to know what it's like to be in tough games early in the season instead of letting them go on vacation and all that.
You don't do that.
and now you come back and you trying to win a PowerPoint game. It's a no go. They're not ready.
Name some of the stops you've made in your coaching journey.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, like I said. Martin Luther High School, from back home in Greenfield, Wisconsin. We put that team together, just won a state title this past year. And all those kids I trained, I mentored, and it was so hard for me to leave, but for me to relocate. But the coach there I was under, my mentor, he's a 6-time state world champion.
Oh, shout out to him.
Yeah, Paul Wallerstein. Paul Wallerstein.
Look him up.
Paul Wallerstein, look that man up. 6 titles.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I come from a good coaching tree, and I just been like really just under him, and I had a great coaches just growing up playing the game as well. And as I moved out here, migrated out here, this just fell on my lap, man. I was taking advantage of it.
Blessed be. You said you have been here 2 years. What did you do the first year you were here? Just try to get the ground?
So when I first moved here, this school is pretty much 5 minutes from my house. The coaches that I knew is crazy. So the prior coach is from Wisconsin, so he knew me.
Okay.
So we reached out. My son ended up coming here, and we just talked. He said, "What you doing?" He need help. He need a coach, and boom, there you go. So I got on as an assistant last year, up under him.
Yeah, so you was in the door and they hand the keys over to you.
Exactly. Yes,
That's
sir.
a blessing when the keys get handed to you
Yeah.
sometimes, man, because you already know the players.
You already know the players, you already know the system, the community, the AD, right? Instead of me just coming in kind of blind and not knowing what to expect. Because it's a challenge when you taking over a program regardless.
Yeah, it is. I mean, without question, I've been there a couple times now. And that's a shout out to a lot of high school coach assistants who necessarily may not have the vision that they are going to be head coaches sometime, but if you know, people take care of each other. Iron sharpens iron. So at the end of the day, if you have that coach's back, he'll make sure you get somewhere. If it's not this school, he'll make sure he'll shoot your resume.
It's relationships.
Very important.
The more honorable you are as a man first, like, because we all have a basketball acumen, play, coach, but the more solid you are as an individual, the more people want to pass that resume. It's the same thing in school. Like, if you don't want to, I tell kids all the time, like, say if you're not an NAIA player, don't ignore the email, because that coach may know a coach at a D1. He may know a coach at a junior, a D2, a D1, D2 college. So always respond to his relationships. I
got a couple of those communications when I was a JUCO coach. Kids that, you know, probably wasn't necessarily happy, but they came down.
Right.
So I definitely know what you mean about that buddy system. Is very important.
Exactly.
And, you know, a lot of times people don't understand, like, you think, and I like the fact that this podcast is going to broadcast a lot of coaches to be connected with each other. That's such like that, especially the way you reached out, Coach. I really appreciate that 100%. You showing love right away. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me meet this brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it.
Not even knowing you, but as I am a podcaster, so I have to do my review.
Yes, sir.
So I was on your YouTube channel. You shout out your business right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's a Modem, right?
Modem player development.
Yes. All right. What are some of the things you do with Modem?
So Modem stands for moves on top of moves. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So as a player, as a smaller guard, I was, you know, known for being a great ball handler, a good point guard. So not only in basketball, but in life as well. My brand is making the next move. When a door may be shut, it's always another opportunity. It's always another move to be made. You keep on striving for your dreams. And with that, with the basketball, I really teach kids to be comfortable with the basketball. Just a lot of ball handling, a lot of shooting, just skill development. All sizes, bigs, wings, guards. Like, I'm really, that's my gift, is really the player development. I really feel like, you know, basketball is a confidence sport. The more confident you are, the better you feel about yourself. The more work you put in, the game is easy.
It's so easy when you're in it, when you do what you
It's easier said than done, because kids want to show up and be good. They don't want to wake up early in the morning and go work out.
And there's beauty in getting up and working out.
It's beauty in that. You feel you accomplished something.
Yeah, getting up and working out, especially when I was young, it was exciting to do. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, I'm doing something cats ain't doing. They were eating hoes and Twinkies and all those shit.
Man, listen, we ain't had trainers. We just got up and go.
Especially not like today.
I ain't had nobody rebounding for me. Me and my buddies get up, walk the ball to the park. If you lose it, you got 10 push-ups. Like, we didn't have a trainer, so to rebound, to geek you up, to get you excited. And sometimes kids, they don't value that. You know what I'm saying? But when the ones that do value it,
I value something. Let me tell you what. So, like I said, I looked up a little bit. I was at they're not paying me, so I'm not going to advertise. I was at the gym.
For sure, oh yeah.
I was playing basketball. I still shoot around a little bit, because when you get old, you still got your shot.
Oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere.
Right, you still got your shot.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, so this young cat challenged me, and I had just saw your video. So we come up, you know, like, hey, I'm about to do the mock move. You know, Friday.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
I was about to, like, I seen it because I watched you use, it was one of your training videos. Yes. Man, I cooked that little boy. I'm like, shout out to coach. Shout out to coach.
Old school.
34-year-old.
Old school.
So, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's out there. So
yes,
if anybody want to look up this information, Coach definitely will. We'll sure to advertise everything we need to get going further. So speaking of Milwaukee, because you just brought up a little bit of it, growing up, what was the field like as a high school basketball player, like coming up? What was like some of the, because they're like, they have charter schools now, they have all these different school systems now, but I'm pretty sure you was probably part of some public school
It was public school.
Yeah.
We didn't have prep schools, or if somebody went prep, it was like, huh? Like it was like I don't want to say we were misinformed. I'm just gonna say it meant everything to play for that top public school because that's where all the talent is.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't, so what I mean by that is nowadays, like you said, perhaps people migrate, people don't like a certain school or coach, they leave, they go. Back when we played, it was like you may have a gym full of dogs, and you gotta figure it out. You couldn't just go and leave and go somewhere else.
No option.
There's no option. That is what it was. So yeah, coming up, man, it was a grind. But I really loved it. Like I'm pretty sure you from that Midwest. So
and I was saying it was still same situation where it's like you couldn't really transfer anywhere. Like you had to.
It was right there.
It doesn't matter what you think. Like you had to make sure. I mean, we have a lot of NBA players out of where I'm from and stuff like that. But shout out to Columbus. But
Columbus, that's Ohio, baby.
So we like, what I'm saying. I just like I said, like I see now, like even my nephew's team, like he's out in the suburb. I'm like, boy, you just go back down to the city. But that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is now, man.
We get a little bit of chicken and we move on now, which we always wanted, like the Jeffersons and shit.
But you know what? That's okay, man. You can go and you can, move to the suburb, but don't forget to go back to that city to get your lumps. Because like I always told kids, it's like you can be a suburb kid, but the smart suburb kids always find their way back to the city. Always. Because the city may not have those kids that they may have them roughneck kids. I call it like even now, kids don't even play in the park no more.
They don't.
But we always said,
parks out here.
Yeah, we always said like, hey, if you can go and play with those rougher kids, and if they can respect your game, you can play.
You got it. And then you're playing with grown men too out there too.
That's
so
how
when
we learn.
And then when you play high school, like, I've been bodying this 20-some-year-old man in the summer league, former pros and such things like that. So, Coach, since we are on the topic of basketball as always, your coaching style. I would say your playing style because even though you did show me a little bit of moves, shout out to his YouTube channel and stuff like that. But give me some of your coaching style. What do you expect your players to get going for you?
I'm gonna be straight up and down real. God defend.
Right. Oh, I can see it in you.
That's how I was able to play. Like, go defend. Very high, very, very high energy. If we're not talking, we're not communicating. If you're a quiet kid, it's hard for me to have kids that's quiet and timid play for me. You have to be a dog. I don't like to keep kids. I always tell kids, if you a dog, I'm not gonna put you on a leash. I'm gonna let you go out and bite somebody. That's why I tell you, if you a dog, you can play for me. The timid stuff I can't do. So my style is in your face. It's aggressive. It's up the line defense. And we trying to turn the ball over. I really believe in the more turnovers you can create and get easier transition buckets, if you can make free throws, you win. It's high school basketball.
Damn, Coach, I wish I'd have seen wish I'd have seen you early in the season, boy. You feel like I'm a player right now. I know it's probably 40, 32 minutes of hell, pretty much.
But listen, you'll be surprised that a lot of these kids don't want to be dogs.
Oh man, because they got options.
They got options.
That's a different tier.
Yeah.
So I can speak of myself. I got burnt out because I couldn't find that necessarily, or I didn't have the support system to make me feel that I could bring the dog out of play, right? Because coming back down, being a college coach is different. Like it's your way or the highway.
Exactly.
And then going back to the high school level, I realized, damn, I gotta kiss this person. I gotta do all this other political stuff, right? You don't have more control. So being the dog coach that you are, how are you able to get that freedom? Or you think that you get that freedom?
It's like a gray area where you gotta have a gift of gab, I like to call it. You gotta know when to do certain things.
Yeah.
It's it's like you wanna bring that certain energy and effort and fire, but like you said, everybody not gonna take it the right way. They may take it a negative way. So you gotta know how and when. It's hard to explain, but it's like you have to kind of be observant first. Observe the kids you have. Let them kind of try to buy into you as like, okay, let them know that you do love them and care about them before you haul off and bite into them. Like, this is what I need out of you. Right. This is my style. Kind of lead by example.
Yeah, a lot of young coaches need what you just said, Coach.
Right.
Like honestly, or people who just been out of place, like me going from college back to the high school.
Right.
Like what you just said is gonna carry a lot, because a lot of coaches probably their first tenure ever, or even like, and they really don't. All they know is probably what their mentor was. Like a lot of people, like I remember my first coaching stop. It was everything he did, I did.
Right.
Because I was on his bench for 3 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, oh well, I'm growing. There's different kids.
Different kids.
Right.
You gotta sell
Yeah.
yourself to them. You gotta actually, they gotta buy into you.
That's true.
And once they buy into you and know that you do care and love them, then you can kind of bite a hole into them. But you just coming off, boom, like right away. With this generation of kid, every kid on a dog, man. Like you said, they more giving everything. You know what I mean? They're more timid, so you gotta kind of show them love first. When you come at them, like
Lead with love, bro.
now they can, okay, he really do. So when he do tell me to be a dog and be aggressive, and he love me. When he do maybe curse me out, he know it's coming from a place of love, not a person. He be personal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the difference in this style of kid. It is what it is.
That's so much for me, because I like ever since I've started doing the podcast, I've been getting all kind of questions, and I tell people like, I'm a veteran coach, but I'm not in the system now. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
what I may have knowledge on is probably retired now.
That's
right?
facts.
So
That's,
like
that's,
talking
that's,
to, you
that's,
know,
whoa, that's deep right there.
you know, but because by saying, you know, lead with grit, bark, it's like you said, like that is out.
It's Spanish. It's like another language. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
And now that's what I'm saying. I was able to admit, like, oh, you know what? Let me let the next coach take over this.
Yeah.
Let me find the way to still be part of the game and see what's going on, because
Right.
it's still there.
It's
right?
still there.
You know. So do you guys start inside out, or like how's your system go?
So because I'm more guard.
Because it don't matter. You're gonna dog out everybody.
So this is the thing. You know, to me, it depends on the group you have. Once again, it goes back to what you said. I adjust whatever kid I have. That's what I'm gonna adjust to. I'm not gonna be stubborn. Oh, we did this back in the day, or this coach, I'm gonna stick to this. No,
Right, yeah.
whatever group I have, that's what I'm gonna do. So even if I want to be, I'm gonna teach you how to be aggressive defensively. You're gonna do that because you don't have to have talent to be aggressive defensively,
Right.
and then know your communication and the right way to be and defend. But however, what you're gonna do, if I have a guard heavy team, I'd work with my guard, maybe high ball screens, pick and roll setting, free it up my guards with space. If I got more bigs and I gotta run more half court so to where it's kind of congested a little bit to where we getting good post play, work inside out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It depends on the group you have.
You work on the transition at all, or is it all in the same?
Listen, it's all in the same flow.
Okay.
To me, transition is getting stops.
Right.
It goes back to defense, in my opinion, because you can't run if we continue taking the ball out the net. I don't believe in you just running. It gotta be for a purpose.
Yeah, they got it, like you said, transition offense usually is a missed basket or like that. But like you said, if somebody make it, you gotta take it out. Obviously, it slows down.
Exactly. I like to run with a purpose.
I like that some coaches are getting into the zone. What are some of the schemes that you faced this year? Not what you've given.
Ooh, what I face. So
Yeah.
a lot of 2-3, a lot of heavy matchup 2-3 zone I've seen this year. A lot of 1-3-1 I've also seen this year in Arizona. One team had a little gimmick diamond, a 1-2-1-1 full court press, but nothing too major when it comes to zone. All the good teams, in my opinion, they're half court, up the line, communicating, hedging ball screens. They just got good man-to-man.
Communication,
Oh,
man-to-man,
the good teams, they can sit their butt down in the chair and guard.
Right.
There's nothing really gimmicky about it.
Yeah, and I think about it, like dibbling into the zone, you have to teach it correctly. And honestly, truthfully, I haven't seen it done correctly.
Right.
I've seen it back home done correctly.
Right.
But here, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's just more of a lazy down situation. Even in the press, it's not even really.
Right.
Like, you're supposed to eat.
You're supposed to eat.
Eat for real. And like,
You getting oppressed to get buckets.
Right.
You
Right.
put pressure on. Sideline is your friend. You know how we talk
They
about.
just daring to shoot. And actually, all the kids shoot now, so I don't even understand what's up with, like, they giving buckets, pretty much. You know, you're opening up, things like that. I'm about to definitely see what's going on here in that situation.
Right, for sure.
So, you know, season's over, right?
Yes.
You're going into your second year.
Yes.
What is some of your off-season situation looking like for you guys?
So right now, what we do is we focusing on AAU basketball club right now, trying to figure out from all our grade levels, from freshman, JV, and varsity, to making sure that, hey, let's make sure these young men are all playing in the summertime, in the spring and summer, right? So that way, what I mean by that is, we just had a banquet, and I told a lot of the kids where if you're not playing right now meaningful basketball, you're behind.
Right.
You have to go play the game. You have to go get better with a referee and whistle. Like, you have to go play. Not at the park with you shooting by yourself. Like, no, go really play for a club team. All the good players or decent players, everybody's playing somewhere, somehow. So that's the thing right now, is just focusing on making sure certain kids that can play are in good situations where they can get the best.
So in your situation, you might help me out with this. So because you're a high school coach as well, so you're fine with AAU.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I actually coach AAU myself as well.
Okay. So that would make sense then.
Yeah, so I mean, AAU is honestly, that's where you build relationships with, you know what I'm saying, seeing the best competition. So I'm able to take a 17U pro team and take them to Atlanta, take them to Chicago, take them to Louisville to see a different brand of basketball.
Right.
And not only that, they can play and see a different other coaches from the Midwest and the East Coast, down south, can really good to a live period, and they can see those kids instead of keeping them straight West Coast where they only see one brand of basketball. Once again, I don't mean to be biased, I'm a Midwest guy.
Oh, be biased.
The West Coast game is more up and down, more free, more shooting the threes, it's more finesse. You want to really know how to be tough? Let's go to the Midwest where it's more meat and potatoes.
Facts. Well, the gym is probably smaller than here.
Exactly.
And this is an auxiliary gym.
Exactly.
Main gym across the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, with a crowd on top of you.
Exactly.
I know AAU is almost like.
So just making sure we getting the kids the exposure, but also making sure, okay, now it's off season. These are your weak areas. This you need to be working at. This you need to be getting better at. You need to be getting up 1,000 shots per week. You need to work on ball handling. Get 30 minutes per day of ball handling. You know what I mean? Like, work on those weaknesses, because in the season, you know this, I don't really have time to train them. I got to scheme, film. We got to switch our game plan. Like, it's so much we have to do that I don't have time to focus on individual. And that's what kids understand. So this is a time now where you should be putting in that work.
Yeah, March to October, it's on you.
It's on you.
Right? It's on you where you want to be and where you're going. We all know players, we've been players before, that you get after. As soon as the season's over, you finding a way. And we ain't had trainers. So
gotta get working.
You know, you got no excuse. Just cats out here training left and right. Get with them, right? And like you said, get into a decent club. And get to a club that you're gonna play in. Don't try to be on team, because you may not necessarily play. I mean, I'm sure you experienced that as well.
Right.
Speaking of playing, so I have a new segment here. It's called Parent Question, where like I have various different parents as high school coaches questions, because parents, I can speak on this. As a coach, you're dealing with so much in the season. The season's only 3 months, but the year is whole preparation, right? You prep for 7 months. It's only 3 months of season.
Yes.
And I wouldn't even say the whole 3 months. In February, it goes like that.
Yes.
It's usually the first week.
Yes.
So I made an idea. I got parents. I'm like, oh, well, can we start asking coaches questions?
Okay.
So, Coach, you're the first one.
Okay, I'm with it. Come on.
You with it?
Hit me.
All right. So I did ask you off camera. You have a freshman, JV, and varsity team.
Yes.
Okay. So this parent says, my son comes to your school as a freshman, and he plays well on the freshman team. What's the chances of him getting on the JV team and probably being able to dress by the season?
That's a great question. So if it's
a scary question, go ahead.
Hey, first off, it depends on how good the JV team is. It depends on if the JV team has players that's moving up as well, or if you have a junk JV. What I mean by junk JV, if you got some juniors on JV or whatever. Now, if your freshman is good enough to play on JV, you can move him up. If he's gonna play JV and not getting nothing out of it, you keep them on freshmen, you continue to develop. Because the JV level, honestly, it's a bunch of older kids that couldn't make varsity and some sophomores. Because let's be honest, nowadays, if you a sophomore on JV, if you're a sophomore, if you're good enough, you should play varsity.
That's a fact.
If
Good teams or younger teams.
If you're a junior and you on JV, that means you got a crappy JV. That means really you should have been cut. So it depends on the situation of the program. For example, the team I had this year, I'll use myself for an example. I would tell that parent, hey, yo, if you had a freshman that was good, he would have played JV right away because the freshmen behind him that was here before, they weren't good. So they was all cut, and for us to have a team, we had to have some JV guys that wasn't as good to make the team play JV just to make sure they competed a little bit. Now, if you got a whole JV team of sophomores that can go,
That's a nice JV team.
It's a nice JV team.
That's a nice JV team.
Yeah.
To piggyback on your answer, Coach, it's more or less, you understand, like, you're in the school system, so you want to give kids the opportunity to be a part of the program, right? And your kid, especially as a freshman, jumping up right away may not always be the
always best because, like I said, JV 9 times out of 10 is like pretty much like men, like young men that are kind of more developed. So it's very rare where certain freshman kids can deal with the physicality. They may be more skilled than a lot of those grown dudes playing JV, but you want to put your son in that setting if he's gonna get beat up. And he may not look as good as you think because of the physicality of the game. He may need to just finish out freshman and maybe instead of playing JV, practice with JV. It's always
and anything can happen. Some people are late bloomers as well.
Exactly. Or you can play half and half. You got 6 quarters.
And you gotta look at where your kid is at.
Yes.
Your kid is at a powerhouse school. I mean, you have to understand that he's not getting on that bench. As a freshman, I don't even think, realistically, as a freshman, you just try to learn X's and O's. Because middle school don't only get 6 games a whole season. So you're just really, as a freshman, you're learning anything. You might get 12 games. So, to answer that question, Coach, I appreciate it. I got one more question for you.
Sure.
When it comes to a parent question. So, kids being, let me read it real quick. Gotta be correct. Okay, here we go. So, you're a coach, right? Kids you've had a tough game. Parents want to get a hold of you. What is your ideal policy on communication when it comes to parents' complaints? Realistically, you want to be not bothered.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. Don't call me. This is my policy. If we lose a game, I don't want to hear nothing. I need a 48-hour window because the reason why, for the respect of not only you as a parent, but the respect of me, that in the heat of the moment, we human beings. You don't want to say the wrong thing in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It may be we made a rough loss. You want to talk to me about playing time? I don't care about playing time right now. We just lost the game.
Right. And that's another thing to piggyback on that because of the fact that a lot of parents understand that, we all know, when we have children or whatever, that, like, obviously we want what's best, what we think is best for our child. So we're always going to fight for our children. But honestly, you don't know what that kid may be doing. Yeah.
As parents, this is one of the pet peeves of mine. Every parent looks at their child and not the team.
Facts. What my child is not getting.
So what I mean by that is, say I had a parent, for example, this year. We broke our school scoring record. We scored 108 points this year in a game. Broke the record. One per kid didn't play. He only played like maybe 2 minutes, whatever. That parent and that kid wanted to meet with me, and you know what the meeting was? Coach, well, I only got 2 minutes. Brother, we just won by 30 and broke the school record, and you talking to me about 2 minutes. That ain't what I want to hear. So you're not looking at how great the team played. You only care about you and what you played in your minutes. So sometimes as parents, like you said, you have to be realistic and be honest. Like, yes, everybody wants their son to play, but however, it's about the team success. What can your son bring to the team to help them win?
And being part of a program.
And being part of a program about winning. What can you provide to win?
And honestly, sometimes there's the biggest cheerleaders or something like, and not even being funny, but honestly, truthfully, especially speaking from the college level, I've had players who, I've basically gave kids scholarships that probably didn't even touch the floor in high school.
Character.
It's all about, and then it might be the timing. I got 5 slots left on my team. I need some people to help out. Guess what? Your kids still get to say they was a college player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hopefully parents, you know what I'm saying, would dig that conversation and all like that. So, you're from Milwaukee, but who's your favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
They are the Bucks. So how you feel about Giannis?
Love him. He's the main thing that's why you got me on camera. I would say would have traded Middleton for like CJ McCollum or somebody.
You like Middleton?
He's a player that can create for himself.
That's true.
If Giannis has someone that can create their own when it's in playoffs, man, you need somebody else in that guard position that can create. You can get another wing defender.
Yeah. Who'd y'all get rid of to Indiana, or he left? Who was that?
Brogdon. Horrible. We should have kept Brogdon. Get rid of Bledsoe.
Yeah, that's why I was.
That's
Brogdon was a hooper.
He nice.
I wonder if he left on his own recognizance.
I don't think we wanted to pay him. But yeah, I love. Listen, I love Giannis, man. Giannis is a player that when you watch the game today, with it being so friendly, he competes. If he loses, like they lost to the Lakers, we watched the game the other day, and everybody's out fraternizing, shaking up. Giannis going right to the locker room. I'm not shaking their hand. He's just an old school hooper.
Right. I mean, I see that a lot.
I love it, man.
Who you got winning it all? Realistically.
Realistically, man, it's gonna be. I think the Clippers.
The Clippers.
Yeah, I think the Clippers. They got a lot, man. They tough.
I like the Clippers as well, but I like Doc Rivers the most because of the fact that he's probably the only tenure coach that actually can manage any stars.
Exactly.
Because a lot of these coaches probably have 1 or 2. The thing is, all the stars been in the league longer than the coaches, so a lot of the players don't really want to listen to the coaches.
Right.
So
Doc Rivers commands that. He commands
and
that.
he got a little situation with that, you know, with 2-time champion with Boston and stuff like that.
Right.
So, in closing, Coach, 100%, I want to thank you for the opportunity to visit you. I thank you for the communication and everything. I'm truly excited to see you go.
Oh, for
I
sure.
might pick up in one of these summer program, winter leagues, whatever, just to see what you got going on, honestly.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? It's fun, especially being a retired coach, to actually just see some dog. Right? I don't know. I just see, like I seen your picture with your bow tie. I can see you probably running up and down the court, screaming into it, jumping.
And that's what it is. Passion.
Dog.
Passion.
Love it, Coach. 100%.
Lead by example.
That's where it's at. But Coach, I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate you.
Most down, man. We're gonna keep going.
We're
gonna keep going. I'm gonna do a follow up right before the season with you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Coach, go ahead and plug your Twitter for me real quick.
Man, you can follow me at Modem Basketball on the Twitter. We also have a Black Hawk Basketball Twitter, so you can follow those too. Give us a follow, man. We here, man.
You say he only. I'm making him talk. He just a dog. He ready. He probably gonna do 100 push-ups soon. This thing is.
I've been at it all day. Unsigned senior camp, all that. Follow me, y'all.
See?
We busy. I got
Love it.
I just beat the team today, 116-85 in a showcase.
Look at him. See, that's what
we
I'm
love
saying,
it, man.
Coach.
We love it. You know, we in the gym. This is our domain.
100%. Like I said, we out of here at Williamsfield High School in Gilbert, Arizona. And this is See the Coaches Podcast. Make sure you follow, subscribe, hit that like button. I appreciate the conversation.
28 points. The Mavericks have scored the last 7, and Abdul Rauf puts an end to that.
His hands. Defense drops down to help out. Then you get the perimeter shot.
Abdul Rauf strokes the 3 with 2 seconds left. Well, that's his 4th of the game.
He can heat up.
Abdul Rauf with Lucius Harris on him. Mahmoud knocks out the three. That's only his 5th of the game.
He's amazing. I mean, his release is so...
Abdul Rauf being chased by Harris, shoots the three and hits another one.
What in the world? It's radar, isn't it?
He's at 6 3-point field goal. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf with yet another three.
How in the world he hit it?
That's 7 in the game. 52 left.
With that kind of effort against the Chicago Bulls and Scottie Pippen the other night, Mashburn had the rebound that Pippen got and tied the game on.
Abdul Rauf.